X-Plane's always kind of lagged behind FSX and prepared in that you couldn't have multiple windows to display instrumentation on another monitor, limited to one window. Of course, that changed with X-Plane 11, and it's really been a boon. The ability to take the GPS and pop it out, and now that you can make it into a separate window and drag it onto another monitor, it's really an awesome thing. I've been kind of obsessed with trying to find a way to display this on another piece of hardware, and of course you can resize that and drag it off the screen onto another monitor, and if you do it just right, it completely fills the screen and gives you a really nice navigation using the GPS. So I was lamenting the need for this with a good friend at Flight SimCon, and he's quite a gifted guy, and we came up with a solution that's pretty cool, I think. It is a GPS bezel, and we found a perfect screen that's a 4:3 aspect ratio 5-inch screen. And this allows you full functionality of the GPS using the display from X-Plane, but interfacing from your hardware cockpit. What we have here is a full-scale replica of the GPS. Along with the screen, we also found some awesome encoders by Elma. These are aircraft quality, actually aircraft quality encoders. They have a great feel. We got some soft touch knobs, has the push button, works just like the Garmin unit, probably as good or better. So that's a great combination. Then when we add on all the buttons, you just have full functionality of the GPS using the integral GPS of X-Plane. So although I helped sourcing some of the parts and with some of the concept ideas, the real brains behind this is Chuck Kindle, who is the guy who's an expert in 3D printing and electronics, and he's the one who came up with the design. These buttons are all self-centering so that they just slide right in. They operate beautifully. The encoders are awesome, and it gives you a lot of functionality just like in the real thing, so you can really have a great navigation training session. This will be great for real pilots who want to hone their skills and practice using the gear on their flight simulator of X-Plane. And also, it's going to be great fun for those who just want to learn about how to use the GPS. Now you can see the unit has also some knobs to control the on-off and the volumes. Those were added since the last prototype video that I posted, and you can see that it has a very nice look. Now this parts are all printed, and you can send the STL files that Chuck has made off to a 3D printer company. He's going to have a list of vendors who have demonstrated their ability to make these things, and they will make the parts. His latest estimate he had from one of the providers was $35 to have the plastic. You have to do a little gluing and then a little Bondo and a little sanding and painting, and when you're all done, you get a really nice looking unit as you see here. There's really not a lot of money to be made here. I think Chuck is doing this partially as a public service. So many people who saw what he was doing were encouraging him to make this available to others, so he's doing that. The way the kit will ship, it will give you the files and everything you need except for three main things. You're going to need to buy the screen. He didn't want to buy those because they cost about $60. There was no real advantage in buying those from the source, but he'll provide sources, couple sources to buy those, the exact screen that fits perfectly into the bezel. As I said, you also need to provide the 3D printed files, and you also need to provide an Arduino Mega board, which a clone can be bought for about $10. If you add a little soldering and sanding and painting and sweat equity, you'll have a unit that's worth probably 3 times what you have in it. Now Chuck's design looks good on the front side, but the back side is equally impressive. You can see how everything is orderly and organized. Now here's a view of the unit from the front. I'm going to tip it over so you can see the back. You can see there's a printed rack that holds the boards. On the bottom 2 boards, first there's 3 integrated circuit boards that you get with the kit that go around the side to solder in all the connections and buttons so you don't have a lot of wires to connect. And then the rack on the back, that's printed, and you have two pieces to the video card. That needs a 12-volt supply too. That's not provided. And then the Arduino board there on the top. The only connections you really have are the USB connection, the video power supply, and the HDMI connection on the back. You will also print some pretty innovative clamps on the back which allow panel mount. Here you can see mounted in the panel without the stickers for the markings on the knobs yet, and they really dress things up. Now the connection with the SIM is via ArdSimX, which is a freeware program that allows you to connect X-Plane to hardware using Arduino. That's free. Chuck provides a configuration file, so you install the Arduino software and the plug-in in X-Plane. It should work right out of the box there. Very reliable according to Chuck. I've been, as you saw in my earlier video, I tried using the beta version of Air Manager 3.0, and it seemed to work quite well too with X-Plane, and it would also be compatible with FSX. Anyone who knows how to interface Arduino with FSX or Prepared could use the same hardware. An additional feature of the kit is that there is additional pins available still on the Arduino to run other software, and here's an example of something that Chuck made for me. It's an autopilot control. The buttons use some of the extra pins on the Arduino and give you the ability to add even more controls without adding any additional expense. All in all, I don't think you can really beat what you get with this kit if you want to add a GPS to your home simulator and you're willing to do a little work. Now with the beta of 11.2 for X-Plane, we have the addition of the pop-out GPS, actually the G1000, and that gives you some awesome capabilities. You can pop those out and drag them off the screen. I have noticed that if you try to pop a second one out while the first one's on the screen, it won't allow, but if you pop it out like I'm doing here and then drag the other one back on the screen, you can have two pop-out GNS windows, one with the navigation, one with the primary flight display. This, of course, has got Chuck thinking some ideas that this would be complicated software, but we did find some screens that are exactly the right size. And if this is a success with the 530, this may be in the future. Just for fun, I decided to pop out the window and put it on the GNS just to show you how that would work. And it looks pretty cool. It's a little small. Obviously, there's a 10-inch screen for the G1000, and this is only a 5-inch screen. But the resolution is quite good on this screen, so it does a pretty good job. And it was just fun to try. The bezel for the G1000, though, is quite a bit more complicated, so it would be quite a project. So if you'd like to learn more about the G530 from Simware Kits, that's what Chuck's calling his little endeavor, be sure to check it out on his website. I think the more support he gets, the better chance that the kit will evolve into something even more. He's, as I said, not so interested in the money as he is promoting this for the sim community. Simware Kits has a website at www.simwarekits.com. Check it out. There's also a beta builders program where he wants to get some people of all experience levels to start building some of these things to see if there's any bugs in the kit in construction difficulties. One of the great things about our sim community is when guys take on these kind of projects and make them available to other simmers. So I sure hope you'll support Chuck and make this a success. And I want to thank you for viewing my channel today. Appreciate any likes or subscribes if you're not a regular viewer here. Have a great day. Thanks.